Hello, welcome to my video class. I am your English teacher Alamuddin Pramanik, lecturer English, Azulak Memorial Degree College, Kahalu, Bogura. How things are going on, dear students? I think everything is going on very well. However, today in my class I will talk about verbs. You know, in my previous class, I talked about verb and its definition and its main kinds. You know, I discussed finite verb and non-finite verb in my previous class. Today, I will give you some examples of finite verb in this class. Be attentive, please. I want to mention something about finite verb. In my previous class, I told you a finite verb, of course, has a subject. This is the identification of a finite verb. So, how can we identify a finite verb? The verb which has a subject, of course, a finite verb. You should remember it. So, I'm going to give you some examples about the form of finite verb today. A finite verb depends on tense and the number and person of a subject. You should remember. Now we can follow these examples on the board. Notice here on the whiteboard in number 1. It is high time we leave the dangerous place. Of course, this verb leave is a finite verb. Why? Because leave has a subject. We. Leave has a subject. So, of course, it is a finite verb. Because we already come to know that the verb which has a subject, of course, a finite verb. So, leave here is a finite verb. So, what can be the right form of this verb? Leave. Leave here is not correct form. Correct in form. What can be the correct form of the verb leave? Here we can think like this. If at the beginning of a sentence we find a clause, it is high time or it is time. It is high time or it is time. Then the last clause will be in the past indefinite form. Will be in the past indefinite form. And we know in past indefinite tense, of course, the finite verb will be in the past form. I repeat, if we find it is high time or it is time at the beginning of the sentence, then the last clause will be in the past indefinite form. So, the verb will be in the past form. The past form of leave is left. L-E-F-T, left. So, left is the correct answer. Okay. Our next sentence, number 2. The passenger ran fast lest he miss the train. The passenger ran fast lest he miss the train. Here is a conjunction in this sentence, lest. Lest is the conjunction of this sentence, and this sentence has two clauses. And here is a rule. If we find lest in the middle of any sentence, then the last clause will be like this. That means if we have lest at the middle of the sentence, then we must use a should as an auxiliary verb. If we find lest in the middle of a sentence, then in the last clause we must write a should as an auxiliary verb. So the correct answer is the passenger ran fast lest he should miss the train. This is the correct answer. It's a very important rule. It's a very important rule. If we have, I'm again saying, if we have lest in the middle of a sentence, then we must write a should as an auxiliary verb. in the last clause. So remember it. Actually, you should remember the rules of these right form of verbs, and in one time you will be habituated like this, and it will be very easy for you. But at first you have to remember the rules. Number 3, 50 miles to be a long way. 50 miles to be a long way. Here 50 miles is like plural in form. Actually here 50 miles is not plural in form. 50 miles here is a unit. With this 50 miles, there comprises a single way. So the sentences like this, the verb will be in singular form, because here 50 miles is not plural, it is singular. How can we know it? Because the 50 miles comprises a long way, one way. So it is in singular form. So if the subject is in singular form, then the verb of course will be in singular, to be, is. The sentence is in present tense, so the correct answer is. It is also an important sentence. Question. Example number 4. English speak all over the world. English speak all over the world. Most of the students feel this kind of sentence very hard to answer. Actually, it is not hard. If you have knowledge about voice change, then it will be very easy for you. English speak all over the world. This sentence is in passive form. This sentence is not in active form, it is in passive form. How can we understand the sentence is in passive form? How? There is a clue. If the subject of a sentence does not work the verb of that sentence, if the subject of the sentence does not perform the work of the verb, then the sentence is of course in passive form. Here English speak all over the world. English is spoken. English itself cannot speak. English itself cannot speak. English is a language. How can it speak? So English is spoken. English itself cannot speak, cannot tell anything. So the correct answer will be is spoken. Again, if the subject of a verb cannot do the work of the verb of the sentence, then the sentence is in passive form. And the form of a passive sentence is, after subject we must write a be verb, whatever it can be, am, is, are, was, were, on the basis of tense. And the main verb is always in the past participle form. In a passive voice, the main verb is always in the past participle form. So the correct answer is English is spoken. Is appropriate for English. English is spoken all over the world, because this sentence is in passive form. I have written another example like this. Sugar import from Brazil last month. Sugar import from Brazil last month. Import, that means bring. Sugar. Sugar is an inanimate object. It's a kind of food. Sugar import. Sugar itself cannot be imported because it is not an animal or human being. It is an inanimate object. It can do nothing. It has no power of doing anything. So this sentence is also in passive form. So correct answer will be sugar was imported, because it is also in passive form. Was imported. Why was? Because here is a clue, last month, which indicates the past form of the sentence. So was is the correct answer. Sugar was imported. According to the structure of a passive form, after subject We have written a be verb. Was here is correct because the sentence is in past form, and import has become imported, the past participle form of the verb. So these two sentences, number 4 and number 5, are same. Okay. Number 6 and 7, these two examples are also same, because through these two sentences here is an expression of wish or fancy. In the sentence in which fancy is expressed, the sentence of course in the past form, and this type of sentence is expressed through unreal past. The sentence will be unreal past because these two sentences, the expression of these two sentences is not true. They are willingness or wish or fancy of the speaker. I wish I to be a good doctor. I have no possibility to be a doctor, or I can wish to be a doctor. Now I am not a doctor. I fancy to be a doctor. So the sentences like this, of course, in past form, and they are unreal past. And in an unreal past sentence, we write the form of the verb in past form. Of course, here is the correct answer will be were, not was. We know in real life, after I, we must have was. In present tense is, but in unreal past, we always write were after the subject. In an unreal past sentence, we of course write were after any subject, whether it is I, whether it is you, he, she, etc. Everything can be. Of course, we write were as to be verb. So were is the correct answer. I wish I were a good doctor. Number 7. This sentence is also as like as number 6. If I to have a big house, I have no house, or I have not big house. I fancy to have a big house. So the correct answer will be here also had, because had is the past form of the verb have. Had is the past form of the verb have. So had is the correct form. This sentence we can write in another way. This sentence, number 7. The sentence number 7, example number 7, we can write in another way. Now I am going to show you. Number 7, this sentence can be like this. Sorry. This sentence can be written like this. In number 8, number 7, the sentence can be write like this. Have I a big house? What's the difference? The difference is, here at the beginning of the sentence, I have not written if. I have not written if. In place of if, instead of if, I have written have. But after the subject, I have not written any verb. So the answer will be of this sentence, I am writing the full answer. Had I a big house. Have has become had because the verb will be in past form in this sentence. And this had has worked in place of if, and we need an had here also, but this had has worked instead of both of these two words. Instead of these two words. Actually, it can be written like this. If I had a big house. That means this had has two functions. It has acts as an if and had also. So we should remember, if we write had at the beginning of this type of sentence, then this had will work instead of if and instead of had after the subject. Okay, I should remember the examples, and you have to practice more and more at home. Practice will make you perfect. So in my next class I will give you some more examples about finite verb, and after that I will give you some examples and rules of non-finite verb. Actually it's a very long chapter. You have to have patience. Okay, thank you very much.